Let's get gay.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan, and it is Pride Month. But the question is, should a toy company be promoting Pride? Let's talk about it. So, Jordan, Hasbro this was maybe a couple weeks ago now, the start of June, they posted an Instagram and a Facebook post, and we'll kind of read through that in a minute, kind of showing their support for Pride, and that has since had to have its comments turned off because there was a lot of backlash. So maybe give us a recap of what their post said so we know what they're talking about here.
So just give you the rundown of that post?
I just need that rundown.
Okay, I'm going to give you that rundown. So it started just saying, celebrating Pride Month at Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, we build vibrant and inclusive communities through play. We're proud of the work we do, and we simply would not be the company we are today without our global LGBTQ plus community of fans, valued partners, and talented team members. Click the link in our bio to learn more about how we're celebrating and championing LGBTQ plus communities throughout the month of June and beyond. And that was kind of the gist of what we got. And I believe there was the logo. You had the Hasbro logo with the Pride colors. And then I think there were some shirts, some like merch going on. Just kind of like, it seemed like mainly variants of like a G.I. Joe logo or a couple different items.
They had like Transformers, and it was, I can't remember the other ones they had too, but yeah. So I saw that as soon as they posted it, and then there was, I go straight to the comments because I know where this is going. So mostly, I'm trying to think. I really think I only saw a negative, like people saying how like Hasbro shouldn't be posting stuff like that. They're like, just focus on making better toys. Somebody commented like, this is all fine, but the Zemnu Wave Red Skull knees are atrocious and those need to be stop making those or something. I was just like, this is that was a funny way to add something else, but I would say the vast majority, and I think them turning off the comments is kind of clear to that most commenters were not down with this post. So
yeah.
What was your take on that? Because I don't know, we don't necessarily need to be like apolitical in this conversation because we have our own biases, and commenters feel free to be your own biases, but keep it civil.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of shame on the toy collectors if it's like they literally. Again, I didn't see the comments and things. I can only imagine where those comments went and what kind of things would lead them to be like, we're just going to disable comments on this. I mean, I think anytime you have a corporation or big company that, on the one hand, yes, there's the sense of like, are they just cashing in on like, oh, hey, we're cool, we're down with you guys, like for the brief window where people are talking about it, and then they move on and don't really do anything else for the rest of the year. But then there's also the other side of, like they even say in that, our fans or team members, things like that. I think if there's even anyone gets a sense of like, oh, I feel recognized or seen or valued with something as simple as like a little paragraph, I think it's pretty ridiculous to feel like, oh, you're doing so much harm to me, or it's just like, don't buy those shirts then. If you don't want those shirts, like, who cares? I don't buy any of their shirts because I just don't buy shirts from Hasbro. But if somebody wants to buy one, who cares? Like, so yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate, but I also, like, if there was an intelligent conversation, like, on this notion of like, hey, you're just a corporate company trying to hijack a social movement to, make ends meet or make a little more money. I have to imagine most of the comments were not that.
We're not thoughtful. Because I think that is totally a valid argument. If your argument is like, this is disingenuous and you're just cashing in on like something that people are focused on right now, because I would think that Hasbro as a corporation doesn't care at all. Like, I think the employees, some of them probably do care, and they're very passionate about this being a topic that Hasbro supports, but Hasbro, being the company that it is only going to care about their bottom dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still going to do those shady things that, like they're probably, there's probably lots of pollution as a giant corporation. They're laying off
Right.
20% of the workforce or whatever it is, just to like make the shareholders meeting look a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a corporation, but that's like you said, that's not really where people went. I think a lot of it was kind of like you make toys, like kind of like
Get back to doing that.
get back to doing that, and like you shouldn't be promoting pride to kids, which I think is
right.
Maybe now we're shifting more into the political aspect. And if you don't want to be a part of action figures and politics mixing, that's fine. You feel free to tune out and watch the next episode because it's going to be great too. But my opinion on that, and again, I'm going to be biased, but I think kids should have some, I don't know that Hasbro's the person to do it, but I don't think you can expect parents to be the ones to do it either, because I've had close friends that, like, if there was any sort of like their parents said, like, if you're gay, we'll either kick you out of the house or worse.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's like, you can't, like, from a good parent, that makes sense, because a good parent will probably teach their kid what they need to know. Mm-hmm. Not all parents are good.
Right.
A lot of parents shouldn't have kids. So you got to think those people are around too. And I think a lot of people forget about that.
Right.
So that's kind of where I would be like, yeah, maybe Hasbro's not the person to do it. But
even if you are like, I philosophically disagree with this, it's like, I would hope you'd at least have the maturity to be like, I'm not going to go on Hasbro Pulse's logo. And, it's like, really? I don't know.
That is kind of like the lowest form of like trolling. This is like YouTube commenters that are like negative commenting. Just like, you've got to be a certain type of person to want to leave negative comments.
Or like, I'm just saying the truth, dude. I'm fighting for this. It's like,
right.
Okay. Good job, dude. You really pushed the needle. Fucking idiot. It's like, what? But yeah, somebody's got to say it, dude. Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird sense of like, yeah, I'm a hero.
Right.
Okay.
Good job. Yeah, I don't know. That is such an interesting, like you said, like they think they're heroes, and it's like, actually you're just you're putting people. I don't see how ever putting somebody down could make you think you're a hero. It's also nice, I'm sure, for the LGBT community to be like, oh, this company is on my side, if only for a month. They're on my side for at least that long.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of my stance on that. Like, if even one person or a few people are like, hey, this means something to me, I think that says a lot. And I really think it can, especially when it comes to, and that's kind of the bummer for me, is I think, honestly, whether you're as a young person, maybe it's shifted a little bit, but I remember like being into comics and toys and feeling like people are probably going to make fun of me, or like this is going to be like, oh, you're kind of a weirdo outsider if you do this kind of stuff. So I think if you're a nerd at all and you've had that experience, I think you should have at least a little bit of empathy for people who might be in similar situations, no matter what it's like. And it's like, why would you even want to make somebody feel that way at all? Like, in any circumstance, but I think especially over something like toys, it's like, if it makes somebody like, oh, I connect more to this hobby because I feel like there's some kind of recognition for me there. I guess it's like, you'd be hard pressed for me to find a good articulation of why you are opposed, or so strongly opposed. Like, maybe in passing, but to be like, I'm going to go on and make a comment and be like, this is ridiculous, this sucks, your toys turn my son gay, or whatever people might be trying to say on that. It's just like, this is just stupid. Like, what is this really worth your time?
So that is a very interesting point, that like collectors and like us, like the specific like faction of like, we're collecting superheroes, probably comic books, and like you said, it's a little cooler now than maybe it was when we were doing it as kids, but I would assume that a large portion of the collectors have felt isolated or, like outcast from the in group because of their hobbies or interests.
Yeah.
And yet it does seem like collectors are the quickest to like push others out. Like, oh, you think that's the best superhero? You're dumb.
Right.
Get out of here. It's like,
Yeah.
you collect Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends suck. McFarlane's
Yeah.
way better, or vice versa. And it's like,
Right.
we're just collecting. We're adults collecting toys. Like, let's come together a little more than put up walls.
Let's get a little perspective here.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And it's like that. Yeah. That to me is the coolest part about the community as we've gotten more into it too, is just the experiences you have where people are very welcoming and supportive and encouraging in that way, and make you feel like you're part of this community, which is really cool. So I think, yeah, that's a shame that is how that went, but I feel like that unfortunately is how most of those things go.
Yeah. I promise I'm not going to turn our comments off. So
whatever
wild stuff you people put in our comments, it's going to be there. And when you run for president, I'm going to pull that stuff out and show it to the
right. So be kind.
Yeah. I don't know. I might have, if you get real wild, I'll delete a comment, but so far I haven't ever deleted a comment on the channel. So let's see if we can keep that up.
Yeah.
With that being said, let us know what you think down in the description or in the comments. You keep it civil if you can. You can. You're adults. Keep it civil, actually. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, stay strong.
Gay good. The only thing I'm saying, the only message I'm sending is gay good. All right.